A very good morning to you all. I'm Dr. Fatima Sugarwala from Kansagra Mahila College, Rajkot. And along with me, I have Dr. Sulbha Devpurkar from Godani College, Porbandar. Our topic today is Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller, an American playwright of the 20th century. Critics believe that Arthur Miller is one of the finest 20th century playwright. And his plays will be produced time and again for years to come because Miller has been able to dramatize the problems, the woes, the sufferings of the common people. And as a result, he is a very realistic playwright. His plays have been translated, specifically The Death of a Salesman, has been translated in 30 languages. And it has been produced all over the world.
He has presented the contemporary life in the best manner, we can say.
Yeah, that is very true. And beyond that, this particular play, The Death of a Salesman, had a profound influence on the American public.
Yes.
Almost everyone, like most Americans, and specifically the aged Americans, almost like at the age of 60, they started identifying themselves with the protagonist of the play, Willy Loman. Death of a Salesman, when it was published, or rather produced, I would say, I should correct myself, when it was produced on the theatre, Morozko Theatre, on the 10th of February 1949, it was acclaimed tremendously because of its organic unity of setting, staging, and acting, which can be considered to be the alchemy of a theatre. So now we are going to start with a briefing. I'll ask Dr. Sulbha to continue and give some briefing of Death of a Salesman. We'll show you some PPTs which will help you to understand things so much better.
Yes, this is a play, American play, and it's in 2 acts. It is considered a bit complex play.
Can we, Sulbha, start with the briefing of Arthur Miller first?
Sure. There are some biographical details about the writer himself, because when you want to know a work, it is better to look at the background of the writer, and that background has also in a way contributed to his writing. I think his own personal experiences are reflected.
Yeah, some of them. And we begin with Miller was born in Harlem in October 17, 1915, as you see on the screen. His parents were Polish, and his father was Isidore and Augusta Miller. His father's business was that of a miller. He used to sell hats and coats and all that. And during the time of the recession period, at that moment of time, the family went into a tremendous financial crisis. And this is how Miller, when he wanted to go to college, he could not go. He had financial crisis, as well as he had very low grades.
Yes.
Okay, so when he could not get admission at the Michigan University, he wrote a letter to the principal, and he convinced the principal that I will do my best. He convinced the principal that if he is given a second chance, he will be able to prove himself. And this is how he got an admission at the University of Michigan. He indulged himself, or he worked at journalism. He worked as an editor in the Michigan Daily. And most important, his greatest interest was experimenting with theatre. He was a prolific writer, and a few of his works we have mentioned. He has written a lot of works, but some of them are, one of them is an outstanding novel, Focus, collection of short stories, an autobiography, and most particularly, all his plays and stories work on social issues of an individual in a social and emotional trauma.
Yes, he addresses personal as well as public issues, something that relevant to the universal man as well as the person, individual, and the society with which is related.
Like his play, the first play that he wrote, which is not a very popular play, No Villain.
Yeah.
It is on Marxist system, Marxist theory.
Yes.
And he explores an individual who faces problems in the society during the time of strikes. Then his second play, The Great Disobedience, makes a connection between the prison system and capitalism. Then you have The Golden Years, the story that effects of capitalism on the fate of an individual. This play, The Man Who Had All the Luck, in 1944, talks about again an individual as a victim of chance. And All My Sons,
yes,
has become a very popular play. And this particular play is a wartime play, how an individual takes wrong decisions. Okay. Then we have The Crucible, which is again about a play based on the Salem witch trials, which was a very important thing in America about superstitions and witches. So this became a very powerful play as far as removal of superstitions is concerned.
And the writer also underwent some sufferings because of that play.
And the Death of a Salesman.
Yes. And All My Sons and Death of a Salesman have one common thing in them, that they profile the father-son relationships in detail. So both the plays have that in common.
But if you go to see the entire Arthur Miller's plays, he keeps on one side the individual,
yes,
and the other side the social problems, yes, specifically the social issues. Okay? And incorporates how families are influenced by social issues. So now I request, there are a number of awards given,
yes,
which we are not going much in detail.
He was a well-decorated person.
Yeah, you have a lot of awards displayed on the screen. And most of them are also on the internet, since internet is so accessible avenue today of media, which you can already, one of the things which I need to point out is that in 1965, towards the end of your screen, you will see that he was elected the president of PEN, that is an organization of poets, essayists and novelists. And he played a stupendous role in this particular organization.
Yes, and this play in particular, as we say, it is one of his most successful play, and it was staged across the globe in many languages. It was translated and was very influential of drama. Some of the dramatic techniques are also very inventive. At that time they were presented on the stage probably for the first time. Now, because you are the students of arts, probably you are studying this as a text
students,
yes,
it's a Rush to
as
University,
a compulsory
basically.
subject. What you need to know is that you have to look at this play as a play about Willy Loman, who is a salesman, and though he is an ordinary person, he has big dreams about himself and particularly about his eldest son, Biff. Now, if you read the play, you might find some of the things difficult, because the protagonist, that is Willy Loman, he sometimes thinks of the past, and the past is presented before the audience as if it is happening now. So maybe you will find some of the scenes very confusing, but remember that it is the mind of Willy Loman that is presented before the audience sometimes, rather than the actual happenings,
because
reality.
Miller has taken the stream of consciousness technique,
yes,
where he takes the character to the past, brings him to the present, takes him to the future. So there are a lot of inroads of thought exchange.
Yes, so that is one thing. It is particularly centered about family, Willy Loman's family. He and his wife Linda have two sons, Biff and Happy. And though Willy wants them to be very happily settled, somehow Biff is not successful in his life, and Willy Loman himself also is not well off. He thinks very well about himself, he has dreams about his life, but somehow his dreams are very far from reality. He is a salesman, he sells things that are produced by others, he earns profit for his masters, and when he is old, he is dismissed from his job. He is not needed anymore. So that is the time of frustration. He is a person who works very hard, he drives a long distance, but then sometimes he doesn't earn anything. And he is very jealous about his neighbor who is very successful. Particularly his son is successful. While Willy thought that his son was better than his neighbor's son. But it turns out to be differently. His wife Linda is very, very devoted wife. She supports her husband in all ups and downs, and she sees everything in very clear perception. She is the only person who could see reality in the proper sense, but she does not contradict her husband and tell him that, see, what you are dreaming is not possible, because she doesn't have the heart to tell him that. She supports him all the time. Now, in the end, Willy kills himself so that his son Biff would get the money from insurance company, and that is the only way he could help his son Biff. Now, because he has been dismissed from his job, Howard represents the capitalist world. So he looks at Willy Loman as someone who is no longer useful, and he just dismisses that old man. Now he has only one option before him, and he he kills himself so that the insurance company will give $20,000.
Ma'am, before we go to that idea, can you clarify the last point? Like at home, Willy finds that his son, Biff, loves him.
Yeah.
Okay? In spite of his affair with a woman.
Yes, because Biff had a notion that his father is not as great a person as he imagined in his childhood. In his childhood, Biff worshipped his father. He was like a god to him, and he thought that he was capable of many, many things. But then he was disillusioned once when he saw his father with a woman. So he couldn't tolerate the idea that his father cheated his wife in this way, and that is how he lost faith in his father, and that derailed him in some way. Otherwise he had a potential, he could have been something, but then his life goes astray.
So when he grows
up, at one point Willy realizes that though his son is not successful the way he wanted him to be, he still loves him and he is capable of so many things, and that is probably the turning point.
So you mean to convey that Biff Loman had a love-hate relationship with his father? Yes,
with the father, yeah. Okay. And also you can say that it is the life of a modern man, the one who has to travel all the way long hours every day. The person who is away from family for long hours.
Okay.
And all those things are, put together. So a family The bond is always there.
All right.
Yes, and I think the strongest point is Willy Loman's love for his son, because he refuses to believe that Biff would be less successful. He wouldn't even accept anything less than what he had dreamt about.
And so all the while his hopes are alive.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he has always the highest hopes for
So
his
one
son.
day the day of success will come.
And not the ordinary success. He wants his son to be someone
Very rich and very powerful.
very great
Very
person
great.
in a small time. Although we can say that his dreams are unreal, but that's a father, and one can always feel that he has the
But
heart of a father.
his dreams, he doesn't know that his dreams are unreal. That's the illusion in which he
Yes.
lives. He has no idea.
Yes.
We as audience can analyze it because we know all aspects of the play right in front of us.
Yes.
But Willy Loman is absolutely in the dark. He lives in his world of illusion, thinking that his dreams are perfect.
Perfect. Yes.
And there will come a time when he will be able to achieve it.
In fact, it is his strong conviction that is the main point of the play.
True.
That in spite of all the odd things that are happening in his life, he still has belief in himself, in his
True.
son. And that is what is going to take the family out of it.
Can you throw a little bit of light on the this thing, $2,000 insurance company thing?
$20,000.
$20,000.
Because that is the in fact, this is another aspect of American life. They are always